Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba dee da dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da 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 dee da 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 dum. Bum ba da dee da da ba da 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 dum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to this edition of the Tuesday telecast. I'm your host, Lydia Lowery Busler, and I am so excited to have my special guest here today. And we're just going to have a great conversation about all of the ways that this beautiful individual has risen, lifted himself, and is now lifting others. And through his work on social media and his work through his books and his YouTube channels. So I want to introduce you to Professor M.S. Rao. Please welcome Professor Rao.
Thank you for inviting me. Really, I'm excited to have this interview. And you are gifted with a very beautiful smile and magical smile. So I'm very happy to talk with you. So it's a great opportunity to interact, share our ideas, and spread positive vibrations.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. And you know, we have something in common in that my audience knows that there are there are things that have happened to me and that I've gone past them and I don't lift the trauma. I lift the transformation and then we can lift others. And you have really had to lift yourself. So, first of all, for my audience, you're in India, you live in India, and what part of India do you live in?
I currently live in Hyderabad, that is South India.
Yes.
But I was in Seattle, USA for 6 months. Now, 1 month back, I came to India. Then again, hopefully, I will go back to Seattle and keep traveling across the world. Uh,
Yes. That's quite those are quite different places, Seattle and Hyderabad. Very different places. How do you like the climate in Seattle?
Seattle is a very beautiful city. I love this city, and there is a lot of entrepreneurship in Seattle. And if you look at some of the entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they are from Seattle. And also there are so many entrepreneurs. They are living in Seattle. There are some companies like Boeing, so North Amazon. So lots of companies they are doing good. So it's a wonderful city, and currently there was a snow. It's very cold, but it's very pleasant, and people are very warm and friendly in Seattle.
Yes, I like the warmth and the friendliness of people on the West Coast of the United States. They're very open and great at connecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yes, the snow. We have that snow here too. It snows and snows and snows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so a short time ago in the span of life, but kind of long enough for you to have some recovery, you had something catastrophic happen in your brain and you had to do a lot of healing. Can you just tell us about that? Tell us about what your journey has been most recently with healing.
It's very challenging about my life. My life is full of struggles and sufferings. And in fact, I authored 54 books, including the award-winning book titled see the light in you, for which the Noble laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, has written a foreword. And this is the book. For this book, His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword. And I have 44 years of diversified experience, including Indian Air Force, business, teaching and training. And I'm a late bloomer, dyslexic, ADHD, OCD, and I don't have two-wheeler, I don't have four-wheeler, I don't have any pension, I don't have any regular income. And I was born into a toxic family, and I have lots of challenges. I'm 61 years old with lots of challenges. But despite all the challenges, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix. And in the year 2021, I had a brain stroke, and my right portion of the body was totally paralyzed during the COVID. And still, for the last 4 years, I'm struggling to get back to the field. Of course, I'm able to walk, but still my right shoulder and right hand has been numb. So it's a very
Yes.
challenging situation in my life.
Yes.
And I can't type with my right hand, and I can't eat with my right hand. So I'm working with my left hand. So life taught me lots of lessons, and but whenever you have challenges, the creativity will come up, and the best within you will come. So we have to see the positive side of the life, not the negative side, because life is full of ups and downs.
Mm.
Sometimes we get excited, we succeed, sometimes we fail. It's part of the life. Life is not linear, life is not a straight line, life is not a cakewalk. Life is full of ups and downs, but still we need to enjoy the journey of our life. And this is briefly about my introduction. Apart from that, I'm curious and creative by nature, and I create models, methods, and frameworks. And I'm an author, philosopher, and storyteller, and I create stories and make an impact. That's what I do it. So lots of things I do it. And I made my debut as a non-fiction author in the year 2010. And now I am in 2025. That means for the last 15 years, within a span of 15 years, I published 54 books. So you can imagine the kind of books I have published and the kind of hard work I have put in. I usually wake up in the morning 4 o'clock, and the night 10 o'clock I sleep. Throughout the day, I work very hard. I'm very workaholic. And 4 years was a dampener, COVID, and I had health challenges. If I didn't have this brain stroke, then probably I could have added some more value, and I would have impacted globally. And also, I would have published more than 60 books. But brain stroke was a dampener. But the good news is that I survived, and I am alive, and I am keep moving the right direction.
Yes. You know, there's something in that when we survive, it's more difficult to survive, right? Because we have to work so hard. But the life that we get from that work in healing
Yeah,
is tremendous. And you talked about the ups and downs of
yeah,
life. When you have the lowest lows, you have the highest highs, and
yeah.
there's you talk about being creative, and I am creative, and I believe that creative energy is healing energy. Would you
Hmm.
agree with that?
Yes, very much. Healing energy is everything, and you especially emphasize healing process, and you emphasize I think body more, body, mind, and sound. Because I have done a little bit of research about your interviews. So what I came to know about your challenges and your healing process, and you are adding value and impacting. And of course, we both are sailing on the same boat, but we have different challenges. But
Different
still,
challenges.
everyone have their own challenges.
Right.
But we have some commonalities in the sense you had some challenges. Now you bounced
Yes.
back, and I have challenges. I am trying to bounce back. So it's part of the life. So we have to enjoy the journey. So healing is a process,
It is.
and this is the area where you are very much strong. That is your forte, and I love that healing process.
It something that I find interesting as I listen to you is that I have I have had a life of healing things, and I feel now I forget sometimes that I'm healing. I know that I'm growing, but I forget because some of the challenges are so much less than they used to be because I went through the pain to the
Yeah,
other side. I didn't
yeah,
stay on the side of the pain. I pushed through. And that's something I've seen you do, that you don't just stay in the pain and nurse the pain, and you don't accept the pain.
yeah,
You work through it, and you
yeah,
push
yeah,
through
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And do you think that that has made a big difference in your healing? I know it has for me. Ha- Has it made a big difference for you to push through and to work hard
Yeah,
through?
I pushed hard, and also you heal humanity, not any particular individual. Your concept is healing the people, not only healing a particular specific individual, but you heal the entire humanity. That is the greatness of your podcast and your personality. Now, when you look at my healing process, is that I'm curious and creative by nature. I engage myself in the creative process. I involve into the flow state, and I immerse into the activities, and I get lost with the pain. As you say that you get lost sometimes, it's
Yeah,
part of life. Why we get lost means we immerse ourselves into a particular process, whether it's a healing process or whatever it is. So it's nice that you are into a process, that you are lost in a different world. That's good in some aspects because you forget your pain, and you add value and impact. So the overall, it's nice to get immersed in a particular activity, whether it's a creative process or whatever it is. This is what you're doing. That's what I am doing. But in my case, I would like to share with everyone is that what can't be cured must be endured. So I am enduring the pain of brain stroke. As I told you, I had a brain stroke, and I have internal allergies, and I have a chronic back pain since 2010 because of my continuous sitting and writing. Uh, so you can understand the pain of my life because 2010 onwards I am having chronic back pain because of my continuous writing. That's one thing. Second thing, I have brain stroke. That was second challenge. Third thing, I have internal allergies. So, but despite all the things, I'm involving into the process, and I'm enjoying and adding value and impacting. So this is life is a journey. So we have to enjoy it. But in my perception, what I would like to share with everyone is that what can't be cured must be endured. So I'm enduring the pain of uh, the process and impacting the people in
Mm,
a tiny way, whatever the little possible manner, I'm impacting the people. That's what I'm doing.
mm. And how are you transforming through this process? What has that that journey of transformation been like for you? And do you see anything in the future with your with your healing?
Yeah, I'm in the process. It's the right question, and I'm transforming. I'm not only transforming. I'm reinventing myself. I'm reconciling with the challenges.
Yes.
I'm not giving up.
No.
Most of the people, they give up. It's a very wrong thing.
They
We
accept
have
the
to,
pain. You do
yeah,
not. You do not.
yes. Yeah, you rightly said. Thank you. And see, you should not accept defeat because we are living with some purpose and we have to add value and impact, right? So everyone has some purpose in life. So you have to lead your life with a purpose so that you can provide meaning for the others and for the society as a whole. So we are born with some purpose, and we have to lead with some purpose so that we can enjoy our journey and impact. This is what we are doing. So now coming to the process of transformation, yes, I am transforming myself. I started understanding myself because why me only this brainstorm and why me only at this chronic back pain? Why me only have this internal allergies? So when I analyzed myself, then I realized that everyone has challenges, right? So only thing we have to accept the things and we have to channel our energies in a right way, in a right perspective, and we have to transform. We have to transform the things in a right way, so that we can do better things for the people uh, globally. This is what my perception. This is what I am doing currently
Beautiful.
because people often blame. People look at the setting the sun. Let us look at the rising sun.
Yes.
Every dark uh, cloud has a silver lining, right? We have to see the positive side, not the negative side. So when you are very optimistic, what happens? You keep moving and keep adding value and impacting, and you gain momentum, and you forget the pain and you enjoy the life. So this is I think I'm sharing with you some philosophical aspects, especially after the brainstorm. Earlier, I was not I didn't have the philosophical attitude and the mindset. I don't know whether I had also, I didn't know. Maybe I didn't discover. Now I'm discovering after the brainstorm. For the last 4 years, I'm thinking from the perspective of a philosopher. But also, when I was in Seattle, I started working on my own philosophy. So, and also I'm trying to write a book on my philosophy, but not now. It may take around 4 to 5 years to do research, and then I will write a book on my philosophy also. So lots of things I am doing, and also currently I am working on a project that is based on my brainstorm, which is a memoir. It's not an autobiography. So I am working on a memoir. uh, this talks about my brainstorm and my betrayal, how I was cheated by my family members. So my how I was cheated by my father-in-law and brother-in-law, and how the kind of family I was born into. So all those things I would like to share uh, through a memoir. So that I am working right now. I am researching, and it may take around maybe 3 months or 6 months to complete my memoir. So I'm slowly picking up the threads and moving in the right direction. So when we have that positive spirit, then we forget the pain and we engage ourselves in a right way, and we keep doing we will be able to impact. So this is
Mm.
what I am doing currently.
There's so much that we learn when we experience childhood trauma, and there's we can stay stuck and we can blame,
Mm.
or but and you talked about this, about that so many people blame, and I say that blame is blinding, because when we do that, we stop taking self responsibility toward
Yes.
our own progress. uh,
Yeah.
but when we can come to a place of moving on, and forgiving, allowing people, because really what people have provided us who have hurt us is an opportunity to grow. Those were exactly the lessons that we needed. And so all of the hardship, I see this as having turned you into the wonderful person that you are. Do you, how do you how do you see that working into your next book? Do you that journey of becoming the wonderful person you are through the hardship?
Yeah, good. It's a great question. And just before that, I would like to share with you about the thing. Let go and move on. That means let bygones be bygones. So
Hmm.
let us forget the past. See, you can't. People waste 30% of their precious time about their unpleasant past, which will never come.
Yes.
And people think too much about the future that can't be predicted. So we should learn to live in the present. That's what I decided.
Yes.
Especially after the brain stroke, I have reinvented and I have changed my perception, and I included a new philosophical ideas and insights in my life.
Mm.
This brain stroke has changed my mind in many aspects. So I started reinventing and I started thinking as a philosopher. So like that, lots of changes have happened in my life. So I'm happy that I realized myself and I transformed myself
Yeah.
and I am becoming a better version of myself. So I'm thinking in that way.
Mm.
Earlier also I was the better version of myself, but I have become more better version of myself after the brain stroke, because before brain stroke I was taking things for granted. Uh, but after brain stroke, I realized how fragile the life is.
Mm.
This is what I learned. Because I was in the Indian Air Force, I was very aggressive by nature.
Oh.
But I cooled after the brain stroke. So this is the transformation that has occurred in my life.
Mm.
I reinvented, so I adapted. So I'm working accordingly, and I slowed down. And earlier I was writing too many things. I was undertaking lots of projects. So I have limited my projects, and I am only taking limited projects because it's quality matters, not the quantity matters. So I decided. So these are the changes I have uh, that have taken place after the brainstorm.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
everyone has a reason to live. So we have a reason to live in this world. So we have to reinvent and we have to move. That's what I have done it. So I
Yes.
have changed a lot. That's one aspect. And secondly, coming to this one, memoir, I started working on my memoir. Uh, Actually, I wanted to write my autobiography.
Yes.
To start with, let me work on my memoir. Memoir is a small segment of life. So I thought, let me work on memoir. So I thought I took brainstorm. That's one thing. Second thing is betrayal, how I was betrayed by my family members.
Mm.
So these are the two aspects I am working, and I will share through storytelling, through a memoir. The title of the memoir is tentatively Survivor. Convert your scars into stars. So this is what the tentative title. So I am still trying to create a subtitle for my book, but the title of the book is Survivor. It has got subtitle, but I am yet to create appropriate subtitle for my book. So the
Mm.
title of the book is Survivor. Convert your scars into your stars. So
Mhm.
that's the title of the book, tentatively. So hopefully I'll do that. Now, this is briefly about the book. So this is the theme of the book, because whenever I write a book, I should have a clarity why I am writing the book, what the theme of the book, and what the message I should share with the audience. So these are all the things I keep in my mind,
Yeah.
because I am a researcher, scholar. So I don't stick to one particular area. In the sense, I was in military, then I was into business, then again I was an educator, then I became an author. So now I'm in the process of philosophy. So like that, I'm trying to reinvent from time. This is briefly about my book, which is a memoir.
Wow. Yes. That thank you for telling me about that process. I resonate so much with so much of what you talk about, the different um and something you said before about having ADHD and going through. I think that that
ADHD.
also adds to all the things you've done. Is
Yeah, it's a challenge.
I've gone through a lot of different transformations in my life too. And but I feel like they all inform who I am now. And I also love philosophy now, but I I've always been a musician, and that music informs my journey now, even as I'm not very often on stage being a musician. It still informs what my story is going forward. Now, I have a
Yeah.
burning question. I have
Yeah,
a
yeah. Sorry to ask you. I came to know that you are a music composer.
yeah,
You are a renowned
yeah, and performer, but
and
I mostly compose it.
because I researched that you are a music composer. I love music because music beyond borders. Because music connects the world. It is nowhere connected with any region, religion, or community. Uh, this is the message. This is the fact. The fact of music is that music is universal.
Yes.
It's nowhere connected with any particular religion, region, country, or like that. So I'm very happy that you are a musician. I think now I got, yeah, now I realize you are very positive, and the second thing is you are smiling too. Third thing, you are a music composer. So maybe you must be a singer also, I think.
Yeah, I do. I sing and I play an instrument called the French horn or the horn.
Oh,
And
oh,
I
oh, oh,
and I used to play in ballets and
oh,
operas and
oh, oh, oh,
orchestras
very good. Oh,
and
very good,
also
very good.
in the back of rock and roll bands. I've done a lot of things with performing. But when I compose music, it allows me to play all the instruments.
Excellent, excellent. I love it. I love it because see, you are gifted with a charisma. You are gifted with charisma,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
See, because when I saw your see, first impression is the best impression. When I just saw you, I was attracted by your what that magical smile. Then I knew that you are a music composer, but I didn't know much about the kind of music you are into. But I feel very happy and excited to have this wonderful conversation,
This is a
because
wonderful.
I am not. Of course, I love music. Of course, everyone loves music,
Yeah.
but we are not composers. I mean, I am not a composer, but I love music, right?
Yes.
Everyone loves. From birth to death, music is essential. Music is eternal.
Being a composer is the same thing as you are. It's just in music. When I believe my first language is music, but
Oh,
when I and it's a universal language as you pointed out, right? But
yeah, yeah,
when I compose music, I'm telling a story in music.
yeah. Through story, you are sharing, you are sending your music through storytelling.
Yes.
But as an author, I'm sharing my stories to writing.
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are the medium? Your medium is music.
Right.
But as a musician or a composer, you are sharing your stories, right? But as an author, what I do is that I share my stories.
That's right.
So that's what we do it.
That's very human.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what creates our that's what connects us as humans is our stories, and
yeah.
we can live our own story, or we can live in a story that we're told, and how we fit in a society, and
Yeah, correct.
but when we find our own story, then
Uh,
then we transform.
yeah. Sorry, you asked the question. I forgot. I
Right.
think our conversation is going.
And that's
is,
okay.
uh,
Yes.
you
Yes.
asked some questions. Sorry.
That's all right. Um, I have another question first, and
Uh,
it's small, but it may open up something. I notice on your book you have a foreword by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Now,
uh,
what
uh.
is your how did that happen? What is your relationship with the Dalai Lama?
Oh, good, good. Yeah, this is a great question. This is a book titled "See the Light in You." This is
Yes.
on mindfulness and spiritualism, and this is a book for which His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword. And I wrote this book. Actually, whenever I write a book, I have an idea, a trigger that pops on my mind.
Yeah.
In India, when I was in teaching for students, some of the students committed suicides. So I felt very sad. So how to address the challenge? How to avert suicides, raising suicides in India. So that's what I was thinking. So that triggered my mind. I felt very sad how to address it, and I started counseling students uh, because teenagers, they are very soft. Sometimes their minds are not steady. They tend to commit suicide. So
So
I came
well.
across. So then I started counseling students. So that trigger helped me. Then I started writing about how to avert suicides, how to be mindful, how to be positive. So like that, I wrote couple of chapters. Then when I was writing, then I started thinking about raising divorces. So it was a very challenging. Then I started thinking about meditation, that various aspects. Then I compiled all the chapters. Then again I was thinking these chapters will connect this mindfulness and spirituality. So then I titled it as "See the Light in You." This is how I have titled. Then again, after writing that book, I was thinking, who is the right person who can write forward for this book? Then the first person who flashed on my mind was His Holiness Dalai Lama. Then I thought, let me try. Let me try. I know that you won't agree to write a foreword. Then I sent a request to His Holiness Dalai Lama because I admire His Holiness Dalai Lama. He's a Nobel laureate. Even I visited Dharmasala in India a few years ago with my wife and two sons. So then I sent an email to write a foreword. No response. Then again, after 1 month, then again I sent a request to His Holiness Dalai Lama to write a foreword for my book because this book is very much required. This is about spirituality, then again mindfulness, then again raising suicides in India. So like that, Then again, His Holiness Dalai Lama asked me to send me the entire manuscript. Then I shared my entire manuscript. Then he read it, then he enjoyed it, then he wrote a foreword. This is how my association with His Holiness Dalai Lama. I am grateful to His Holiness Dalai Lama for writing a foreword for my book. And he is the only one Nobel laureate who has written a foreword for my book. There are so many people, they have written forewords. 54 books I have published. But only one Nobel laureate who has written a foreword for my book is His Holiness Dalai Lama.
Oh
So
my.
this is the journey with His Holiness Dalai Lama. Then again, I started writing about various. I updated my manuscript. Then again, I give it to a publisher. Then the publisher also from an American, very powerful. Then he has immediately agreed to publish my book. And why he published? Because His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword, right? So somehow my book was published, and it's doing good. I feel very happy that His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword. I'm also happy that I have done something meaningful through writing a book on mindfulness. And I also mentioned about monkey mind, meditation, yoga, divorces, then again, suicides. So various aspects I have mentioned. So this is briefly about my book, See the Lighting.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I want to, for all of you in the audience, I want to let you know that the link to that book and the other books are down in the show notes. So please look for it there. Look up this book. I'm so excited about, so much more excited now by you talking about the book. That is just fantastic. And the idea that you you envisioned and you asked, this is such an important lesson for people, just this one thing, that when there's something you want, you really know what it is that you want and bring yourself to make a way to what it is that you want. And you wanted a forward, and you wanted that forward to be from His Holiness Dalai Lama. And
Yeah.
you and that little part of you, which we all have, said, "Oh, he won't answer." But if you never sent the request, you would never have gotten the forward. And you sent the request, and you sent the request again, and you received what it was that you want. And this is such an important lesson. So thank you.
I'm persistent by nature. That's my
Very good.
strength. I never give up.
Yeah, but there's persistence um with intention, with mindful intention, and then there's insistence that some people have, which is more like running into a wall. And
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
is this is very different than that, than just working hard for no reason. You're working, which, we in the United States, we work hard for no reason. We think that the goal is to work hard. The goal isn't to work hard. The goal is your goal. You can work hard toward your goal.
Yeah, yeah, you rightly said. Yeah. Work hard towards the goal, right?
Right. And that's very different, what you just described, because we will work hard. We'll go to work and work hard for someone else. We will work hard for money. We will work hard because we think that the value is in the hard work. But then when there's something we want, we'll talk ourselves out of it. We'll say, "Oh, I can't have that." Oh, they'll never say yes. But that wasn't you.
I'm
You
very positive, actually.
moved
I'm uh,
forward.
I'm a very positive guy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very positive guy. That's one thing. I'm persistent. Persistent means even if 100 people say no, but still I will chase. Sometimes people might not appreciate, but I keep chasing. This is the problem. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. It depends upon the individual, how he or she takes it. But I
yes.
persist.
Yes. Well, some people don't want to hear from you anymore, and that's on them to say
It
that's on
happens.
them to say
You,
no,
you
right? But until they say no,
no,
you can keep asking.
you are very practical. This is the challenge. you are talking from the practical perspective. Yeah, I do agree with you. What you say is right.
Yeah. Well, there's there's a place where people live that is practical, and some people only live in the practical, and some people
Mm.
only live in the spiritual, and some
Mm.
people have both, and some have
Yeah.
neither. Some have
Mm.
neither, and they just work hard. And that's the example that if you're on this station and you're listening, you can be influenced by actual methods and
Mm.
also the results. And when you see the results to the methods and it leads to what you want, then that can open up your spirituality because you understand the power that you have.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Correct. You rightly said. I do agree with you.
Thank you. Is so the next thing that you are doing is writing down these memories, and as you are doing that, tell me more about that process. I think you were going to talk about that process. You're writing down um and you're writing down your past with your all of your past with the people who've betrayed you and all of your past journeys. Um,
Okay, okay.
what is your hope for
Yeah,
writing that
yeah.
down?
Yeah. So I never usually I don't share my challenges. Now I'll share. I'll open up because I feel very. You're encouraging me, so I'm very happy. See, I was born in a tiny village in India, and for 18 years I was in my native place in
Mhm.
India. And English is not my first language. I started with the Telugu language, and I started. I didn't have any convent education, so it was very challenging. And my father was a litigant and alcoholic,
Mhm.
and my mother was very toxic. And for 18 years, my life was very chaotic. My childhood was very chaotic, and I could not enjoy my childhood. So it was very challenging. Sometimes I worked in a tea stall, and I used to clean the dishes, and I collect cash at the counter in a tea stall, and I sometimes I supported my father. So these kind of petty things I did it in my childhood. Uh, so it was very challenging, and I could not enjoy my childhood. It was a very big challenge. But right from my childhood, I don't know why some divine force or some spirit or some guiding voice, something was driving me since my childhood. Because around more than 10 times I escaped death. More than 10 times I overcome deaths. That means you can understand that I was living with some purpose. The last challenge I had was in the year 2021. I had a brain stroke. I would have been dead at that time, but I survived. So that means there was some guiding voice or some spiritual power or some inner spark that was driving me. That led me to keep moving forward. Then I was very lean built, and I was not getting any nutritious food in a childhood. I was very thin. I was short in height and I was thin built. And at the age of 15, I thought of serving my country. An idea flashed on my mind to join military. So then I started trying for Indian Air Force. So at the age of 18, I joined the Indian Air Force. So I was very lucky that I came out of the toxic environment, and I grew as a healthy citizen and as a leader after I joined the Indian Air Force. And I was getting very limited salary in the Indian Air Force,
Mhm.
but I was getting good food, nutritious food from military. So I was very happy. Then I was getting free clothing, shelter, and I was getting a salary of around 400 rupees in India at that time. And whatever the money I was getting, and I was sending to my parents, because as a son and I'm the elder son, I had to support my parents. So I used to send money to my parents every month. And I used to work very hard in the Indian Air Force. And I used to wake up every day morning. And I used to wear big shoes in the military. It was very painful. And I was around 18 years of old. I was 18 years old. I had to run every day morning with other military friends. Then again, we immediately we had to go and take breakfast. Then again, we had to do parade. Military would have parade. Then again, very tough, challenging. So night 10 o'clock we sleep. So morning 4 o'clock to night 10 o'clock we do the things in the military. So it was very challenging time in the Indian Air Force. So I had that kind of challenges. Then again, what I was doing, 10 o'clock usually people sleep in the Indian Air Force when I joined. Then 1 hour extra I used to read in the night, because I discontinued my degree when I was 18 years old. Then again, 1 year, 1 hour every day night in the street lamp, I used to read. I had passion for reading. Then again, I would wake up in the morning 4 o'clock. Then again, I would go for running in the military. So it was very tough life. So that means 10 o'clock I was supposed to sleep, but 10 to 11 o'clock. That means 1 hour I was reading in the street lamp, because I was not allowed. So I used to read. I was passionate about reading. So I was so much passionate about education and learning. So this is the kind of life I led. Then again, after I joined the Indian Air Force, then I paid some my, fee and completed my degree. Usually, degree takes 3 years in India. For me, it took more than 4 years. So I utilized my annual leave and casual leave, and I took tuitions. Then again, I got my degree, that is BSc. So I acquired total 6 qualifications from the Indian Air Force. They are DME from aeronautical, then BSc Science, then ME means Arts, then again PhD PM, that is again Management. Then I got my MBA in Marketing. Then I got my PhD CLL in the night college, which I did. So all these qualifications I had through private education, not through a regular education. People might think that I acquired my qualifications from Harvard or Cambridge, but the fact was that I was a college dropout. At the age of 18 itself, I left and I started studying. And I used to visit libraries regularly. Wherever I am, I go to visit. I visit libraries. Even in Seattle, also I went to Seattle. In Seattle, I went to. I visited libraries because I am passionate about reading. So I acquired qualifications through private education. So this was the journey of my life. But then again, the challenge with my education was that it was not a regular education, and whatever was available, I availed the opportunities. Precisely, I created a door and knocked the door, and I availed the opportunities and executed the things. So that's how I led my life. It was very painful life in my story, and I don't have guide. I don't have mentor. There is no godfather. So everything I had to do of my own because I was in the military. And military life was very tough. I used to do my work daily. Apart from that, then leftover time that I was using for education by going to far distant places, because in those days there was no technology, no YouTube, nothing in those days, right? So So life taught me many lessons, but I became very tough, and so this is my life, this is my story. So these are all the aspects I would like to share in my memoir. So I'm trying to incorporate all these challenges in my memoir.
Beautiful. There, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
The uh, in the Tibetan culture and the Tibetan spirituality, we choose our parents. We choose where we're going to be, and we choose our parents,
Yeah,
and
correct,
we
correct.
choose our life. Do you believe that you chose this life so that you could transform? Do you believe that you made a choice to be in the family and the life that you have for the lessons you needed to learn?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I didn't choose my parents. I didn't choose siblings. I didn't choose parents. It was a destiny or karma, whatever it is we call it. So I was born into a toxic family. I was helpless. There was no way, but I chose to be positive, and I grew as a healthy citizen and as a leader after I joined the Indian Air Force. And I came out of just, I would like to put it in this manner. I blossomed like a lotus. Lotus comes from the mud.
Yes.
The lotus comes from the mud. So I blossomed from the mud
Yes.
like a lotus. So I feel
Beautiful.
like that. So this is toxic. This was a negative environment where I was born into. I was helpless. There was no way. But the biggest thing in my life was that I had a dream to serve my country. So
Right.
I joined Indian Air Force, and then I got the opportunity, and then I started reinventing, and I started going in that direction. So that's how I things have rolled out.
Were you really helpless though? Or do people, I mean, we say that we're helpless, but somehow you didn't receive any help, but you had your dream and you somehow everything aligned for you to be where you are through your hard work and through your dream. You have been, and it's not an easy road. You didn't it's not an easy road. It's never an easy road, but you helped yourself by your dream and
Yeah,
by pursuing
yeah.
your dream, and only you
Yeah.
could do that. It was all you.
Yeah, because nobody funded me for my education.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me money. And on the other hand, my own siblings, they have taken my little bit of money. So I was backstabbed and betrayed. This was a very big challenge.
Yes.
But I had a dream, that dream to serve my country, and that dream to wear uniform. So I put on uniform.
Mm,
That dream led me to join Indian Air Force at the age of 18. So that was the turning point in my life. Then I started working very hard.
yes.
Then again, people might think that I was a commissioned officer in the Indian Air Force, but I served in the lowest rank of a corporal for 12 years. That's one more challenge. People might think
Yes.
that I was an officer. No, I served in the lowest rank of a corporal for 12 years.
Right.
So it was one more challenge.
Yes.
And I was not blessed with the convent education. I started with the Telugu language. That's one more problem. And every time, people will try to spoil the things, because some of the people, they were jealous. They were thinking why I should grow. They were telling, you should not grow. They were trying to uh, pull me down.
Mm-hmm.
But I nobody can pull me down. When I am positive, when I am resilient, i can
Right.
uh, I can raise. So even when I was doing my PhD, I never told to anybody that I was doing PhD, because otherwise some people, some toxic people will try to spoil the things. They will throw a spanner onto the good work done by me. So
Yeah.
for 4 to 5 years, I never told to anybody that I was doing doctorate.
And that's
Silently, I
okay.
did doctorate. Then subsequently, I declared that I was a doctorate. So everybody told how you have done it.
Perfect. Yes. Yes, I agree. And it's your journey. It's not their journey. So it is
Yeah,
perfect
it's
for
my
you.
journey, but others were trying to spoil my journey. I was playing safe because of the toxic environment, toxic people. They were trying to spoil my opportunities.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I kept low, and I kept myself away. I never disclosed to anybody that I was doing my doctorate, because otherwise these people will spoil my PhD also. So
Right.
that's why uh, that's how the challenges I encountered. So
Did
still I am having challenges.
if we I think that we won't be alive anymore if we don't have challenges. The challenges help us grow. But
No, no,
did the Air
you
Force?
rightly said. No, no, no. You rightly said. Yeah, challenges will remain.
Yeah.
So
Did the Air Force pay for your PhD? Did they pay
no,
for
no,
you to go
no,
to
no,
school?
no,
No.
no, no, no. I joined Indian Air Force on February 4th, 1982.
Hmm.
And they give me a salary every month.
Yes.
I think I was getting 400 rupees, very nominal amount. It's not even less, maybe $4. I don't know. I think $5. I think. Yeah, I think in your language, I think I was getting five. I don't know. No, it's not even $5. I think $3 I was getting for account to US currency. I
Yeah.
was getting around $3 when I joined Indian Air Force, and I was getting free food, free accommodation, everything. And then I was supporting parents. That was one aspect. Then within that limited money, I used to go to visit libraries and acquired qualifications. That's what I have done it. So nobody sponsored, nobody funded. Even government of India has not funded. Everything was my own money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If you were to tell our audience one way in which they can lift themselves and help themselves to aspire to their dreams, what would you tell them?
Uh, See, people have dreams, aspirations, but some people they give up. But what I would share with everyone is that never ever give up,
Never ever give up.
because life is an opportunity. See, you are gifted an opportunity to be born in this world. You came on this beautiful planet.
Mhm.
You don't know how long you'll be there, maybe 60 years or 70 years or 80 years, that we can't predict. But when you are born into this world and you are living on this beautiful planet, so it's an opportunity for you to add value and impact. So what you have to do is you identify some important areas, work on them, add value, and leave this world forever. Right? That's what I
Beautiful.
believe.
That's
Leave a legacy for the next generation of people.
yes.
Build a better world than what you are having. Now we are having a world, high-tech world, lots of opportunities. But when I die and go to the next, after my death, I want the next generation should be better than my generation. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
That's what everyone looks for. See, I want my two sons to lead life better than me, because I could not lead my life because I had so many challenges, toxic family members, betrayal, all those things. But at least my two sons are leading lives better than me, so I'm happy. Similarly, our generation has some challenges. At least the next generation must lead life far, far better than the present generation. Then that is known as growth. We should look for growth from one generation to next generation.
Oh,
That's what I emphasize.
beautiful. So never give up. Live for now and plant the future. That
Yeah. You rightly paraphrased. Yeah, you 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 are articulating well, and you are paraphrasing. You are able to understand my inner thoughts, and you are able to paraphrase and putting the ideas in a right perspective. So I'm happy.
Beautiful. Thank you. I am happy too. I'm so happy to have had this conversation with you. I want to let the audience know again that your books, and
Uh,
you have more than just the book that you showed, will be down in the show notes, and you can find that and read that for yourself. And I highly encourage you to do so. Thank you so much for being here, Professor Rao. I appreciate you.
And let me share with you, I love your magical smile. Second thing, I love your music. I hope you'll excel globally in a right way. So I encourage you. I wish you an exciting and a beautiful life. You have a great heart above all, because I have done research about you, and you are very kind and compassionate. I am happy for you, and I'm happy to spend my precious time with you. And also, you and I are spreading spiritual vibrations for the world, because whatever you and I talk is recorded, it will be there forever.
Yes.
If at least after 10 years, if somebody listens to my conversation, so they will feel, they will enjoy. Yes, this you and I have done something amazing for our, not for us, for the world, and for the next generation of the people.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. You are so right. I appreciate you so much. And everybody out there in the audience, let your light shine. Let your love ripple out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I want to thank you all for being here. That was Professor M.S. Rao, and he was coming from Hyderabad, India, and his book is down in the show notes. If you know somebody that you would like to have here on the show because they are lifting others in your community or in your workplace by their work, by their demeanor, by their volunteerism, by the works of their life, please let me know and we'll have a conversation. I appreciate you. And if you have not done so already and you would like to see more, please ever so gently hit the subscribe button and hit the like as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba dee da dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da 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 dee da 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 dum. Bum ba da dee da ba da 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 dum.